Yeah, I thought we came out with a lot of energy. Not necessarily enough grit and toughness, but energy, and we were doing some things offensively. We were executing. We were taking great shots instead of just okay shots, which led to us shooting a good percentage, and we're right in the ball game. And but the difference in the game, you look at second chance points, it's 30-0, and Belmont's one of the 10 most efficient offensive teams in the country, and then you give them 15 second chance opportunities to play offense. And, we don't get any. We had 3 total offensive rebounds for the game. And anytime you get beat 30-0 in a stat, especially one like that, you're probably going to lose the game. And even with that, it's single digits in the fourth quarter and we're in the game. And so deeply disappointed in that. There were probably, I have to look at the film, but there were probably 5 possessions where we had 2 hands on the rebound, and we have it in our hands, and they just took it out of our hands and put it in. 3 of them I know they got fouled on. So as disheartening as that is, if you fix that one area, let's just say we just cut those in half, it's a 1-possession game. And then if we add a couple of our own offensive rebounds in there, which we had been, we've done that this year, then you're talking about you got an opportunity to win a game against a very, very good team.
Um, Charlie Maggard. So this
Oh, the scouting report said, just let her shoot threes. All right. No, yeah, she's a great 3-point shooter. We were supposed to be up touching her, and and even though we were changing defenses and changing to some different zones and stuff because of how efficient they are offensively, we have somebody right in front of her and they're just 4 or 5 feet off of her and just watching her shoot. And you cannot make, it's bad enough that we made gave up the offensive rebounds and made those mistakes. And then you make a mental mistake, which is what that is, when you allow somebody, I mean, gosh, she can really shoot it. And when you make that mental mistake, that's a scouting report mistake, and, we have, because of our situation with our staff right now, we're down a coach, and, we've gone to Coach Reese is really busting his tail on the scouting reports. He does every single scout, which gets difficult, especially in conference play in a stretch like this. And a simple thing like be on her, you got to be up on her. She's a great shooter. And then when you go out and you give that up, and you got to give her a lot of credit for she 8 of 12 from the 3-point line. However, if you're up touching her, she can't get her shot off because, she is 5'5". And we had people 5'10" in front of her a lot that were just 5 feet off of her watching her shoot. And there was one stretch in the second half, she hit one on the left wing, and the very next possession, she hits another one in the same spot. And it was, we had somebody over there and they just watched her shoot. And then, so we had some breakdowns there, and that's just mental toughness to me. An individual toughness and attention to detail and caring enough about your team that you're not going to make those mistakes.
because even like you said, even if you have if you have a player up on her, I mean that's a physical mismatch that should be in your favor because you've got players who are taller than her.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to say it's a mismatch in our favor, but I would go to the point that she wouldn't be 8 of 12 from the 3-point line.
Right. Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's because she is a great point guard. She's a great player. Okay, she's one of the 2 or 3 best point guards in our league. Her and Grace Lennox are outstanding, and we have some other really good point guards as well. But 8 of 12 from the 3-point line can't happen from a player like that. Now, if it was somebody else on their team that's not known as a 3-point shooter and the scouting report might have been, hey, you can help off of her, then I wouldn't be disappointed in that area. But you look at, especially just take her 8 of 12, and let's say she goes 2 of 6 or 2 of 5, which is still a good percentage. Okay, which would be kind of normal. You're going to make a mistake every once in a while. But 8 of 12, and then minus 30 on the offensive glass. What's the game like then? And it's a completely different story.
And with the points in the paint being what they were, I mean, I guess you could say if Maggard wasn't burning you guys from the outside, then
Well, they,
kinda,
we told our team. I mean, they have a phenomenal collection of post players. I mean, they have, they could have 3 or 4 of the best posts in our league easily. If you broke it down individually, they don't all get a chance to put up the numbers to claim that, but they're really talented. Um, so, but what we were doing defensively should have disrupted that some, and they did a nice job getting it in there. But again, simple mistakes like whether you're supposed to be fronting the post or not fronting the post, and you go out and you make that mistake, and in this particular game we weren't supposed to be fronting the post, but we get in front and they lob it over us, and that's why we weren't supposed to be fronting the post, and that caused a problem for us. And then you put that production on top of the offensive glass. A lot of their points in the paint, what did they end up with in the paint? 44 points,
Yeah.
and they had 30-second chance points.
Sure.
So.
Plus some and ones on there too.
Right.
You got 3 pretty good games out of 20 or more points from 3 different players.
Yeah, and usually you're going to feel great about that. And you didn't get production from other people, but other people also didn't get the same, number of shot attempts, and those people shot decent percentages, and we were running stuff late in the game to get shots for certain people. I wish we had more production than that from other people. It's good to see Liasia shoot the ball better and Bria Bethea have a good game, and KJ make a couple of threes and start attacking late. But again, it all goes down to toughness and rebounding and giving yourself an opportunity just to have a chance in a game like this against, a team that's undefeated in your league.
And really, I mean, despite everything that possibly did go wrong for your team throughout the game, and like you said, it was a close 1 or 2 possession game in the fourth quarter. You did give yourself a chance.
Yeah, and I hadn't looked at it yet, but 7-8 minute mark, we had 3 or 4 breakdowns in a row. I think Darby hit 3 threes in a row, and it goes from 7 to 16.
Right.
Like that, 3 possessions when we went empty on the other end. So yeah, it's tough, and it's one of those things. Offensive rebounding. I mean, you can work on it all day long, but then when you have people with the ball in their hands and somebody just takes it out of their hands, it's what are you going to do? Staying up on somebody that's a shooter that you're telling your players, it's okay, get up and touch her. If she drives by that player, that's my fault. You know what I mean? So like in Darby Maggard's case, that's where we wanted to be in this game. We wanted to be up on her, pressuring her, and we didn't get the job done, so she goes 8 of 12.
Coach, you said your energy was there tonight. Would you say that these last 2 games you guys have worked more collectively as a team? I know you mentioned
Yeah, not really at Moorhead. We took shots that were at Moorhead State that were not great shots. We rushed some shots, and we had some players who were trying to get their shot off instead of just running our offense. And tonight I felt like, and I'll go back and watch the film, but, I felt like we moved the ball. I felt like we made the extra pass. Now, there were a lot of times we made it a step late, whereas, we start penetrating and they're flooding the lane on the first bounce. We should have kicked it. Maybe we take another bounce or 2 in there, but eventually we passed it out, and then we moved the ball some. And, I wasn't disappointed offensively. I mean, you look at the numbers, 5 turnovers in a game played at that pace is good. 11 assists on, I wish we had a few more assists, but, 11 assists on 24 baskets. When you look at, our last game, that's certainly an improvement. So I'm not disappointed offensively, just disappointed in the rebounding and the attention to detail on the defensive end. I don't think it's that our players are saying, man, I don't want to play hard and do this. I just think it's, am I going to do whatever it takes to get myself mentally prepared? And, and that's what it comes down to, especially at this time of year in this league. And we have 6 games left, and we could win any of those games by 20 points, and we could lose any of them by 20 points, because that's how balanced this league is from 2 through 12. It's extremely balanced. And so, our players have to get that and have to understand it's not okay to make that mistake. Well, I made a mistake. Gosh, I hear that from players sometimes. And that's not okay, because that cost your team. And it's supposed to be, with us, it's supposed to be about making things easier for my teammates. And when I make the mistake of backing up off, I'm like, one time we had somebody on her and they were all over Darby, and then they backed away from her. And then she hit a 3 late in the game on the right wing. And I'm like, you know, what are you supposed to do about that? You know, at that, I mean, you take them out, but they think it's okay. Players today think it's okay to make one mistake because it's just a mistake. But a lot of these games are going to come down to a few possessions. You know, what if we didn't make those mistakes? What if we didn't make 5 of those mistakes on Darby, and she only has 3 threes, and she doesn't go on that individual run in the fourth quarter, and the game's a little tighter? Then how does that change things? You know, so but we'll never know that.